All right, it says we're live.
Awesome.
So back by, I would say popular demand, but in reality, I guess it's little to no demand.
Unpopular demand.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. We're back anyway, doing a brand new episode of Grown Men Talking Sports Cards. Um, so the National, you were unable to attend this year. I'm sure you've watched like a ton of footage. So what were your thoughts from somebody that wasn't there of like could you tell any differences from this national just from the video and stuff that you watched?
Yeah, certainly as far as how crowded it was. I wasn't there, but yeah, looking on the outside, looking in, yeah, it looked very crowded compared to normal. And it's usually pretty busy, especially on the weekends. That's not you know abnormal or anything, but seeing for sure like Thursday, Friday, I saw the videos of how crowded it was, and I think what each day set a record. I believe I read somewhere
It
um,
sure seemed like it. I
for
haven't
for
seen
attendance.
it
So,
though, but
well, I can't remember. What was the last year we went to Chicago? Probably 2015, I think. Maybe
I mean I've been there since then, but yeah, I think
I think 2015 was the last time I was there because I think the
right.
last one I went to was in Cleveland. So in 2019 maybe. So 2015, 2016, whatever year that was in last time I was in Chicago, and it was busy. Chicago's normally a busy place to have it, but this year definitely looking at the videos was tremendously bit more busy. For sure. I'm guessing is that kind of what the experience was.
Yeah, it was a madhouse from the get go, and just it didn't really seem like it ever really slowed down much, and yeah, like there was just like these waves of people. Like, I mean, you remember in the past how there would be like the line for the VIP and stuff like that, but it seemed like it was even crazier this time. Like, there's just a mad rush of people, and there was more people that were in early than typical. So yeah, it was that part was definitely different. Let's see we'll show who's in here real quick so far. Cardi C, what's
Yeah, I
going
don't
on?
know if I can see. Yeah, I'm not logged. I guess I don't know if it's because I'm not logged in. I can't see who's in, but yeah.
College
Uh,
Sports Dude, Amish Dave, what's going on? Good evening. Boston Kid, yeah, 2022 could be even crazier. Lou Rock, what's up, my man? Boston Kid, there's Michael back.
yeah, I tried to do the login so I could see the people, and it booted me out. I didn't like that.
No, okay, well, that's all right.
My fault.
So yeah, like obviously the crowds were different. There's been it's funny because there's been so much talk like over the last year or two that kids, we need to get more kids in the hobby. Kids are being priced out of the hobby. And I saw way more kids at this show than I've ever seen at any show I've ever been to. So what do you think is like what are your thoughts on that as far as like because you've heard that narrative for a while too, right? About how kids can't afford cards anymore and
Well, I think if their parents have the drive or the want to get them involved in something like that, they're going to find a way to do it. I mean, it's one of those things. I think as much as it is, getting kids involved, it's getting their parents involved. I think it's where it starts. So I think there's a lot of people just over the last 20, 25 years after the 90s bust that got out of cards that haven't been back into it. Well, now some of the parents are getting into it. And of course, by default, they're bringing their kids with them, and I think that's probably the key is get those people back involved, and naturally you get the kids into it. But I still think prices are incredibly high, and so it's still going to be hard for kids to collect, for a long time. So, but we all know that 8, 9, 10-year-old kids, they become 20, 30, 40-year olds at some point and have disposable income. So just getting them interested right now, that's the key, right?
yeah, and I mean like you hear a lot of talk about how their parents are buying them all this stuff and everything and that's probably true. And I mean, to be fair, like, I mean, it's not like we had jobs when we were like 8 or 9 or 10 years old either. It was our parents that were buying us cards. Obviously, the prices were a lot different back then, but I mean, the prices of everything was a lot different back then. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, yeah, a gallon of gas costs under $1, what's it, $3 now or whatever, and
Yeah.
yeah, everything's way more expensive. But I will say for sure, talking about wax prices, I mean, it is so hard for kids to even open any packs now. And that's probably the place where most all of us started with the first joy of collecting is busting your own packs, and that's probably where I struggle the most is getting kids interested. How are they going to get to open boxes, and packs? It's going to be tough for the next few years if the prices stay like they are.
Yeah, and I think that obviously the kids today have a different mindset when it comes to collecting. It was back when we were kids, there were no hits, right? I mean, when you opened 89 Topps baseball, it was all base cards, right?
Yeah.
So we were not we were never tempted to just be like looking for the hits because we didn't know what that was. And you see that today where the base cards have become somewhat irrelevant, like even to kids. And you see it, you definitely see that even more so with adults. But yeah, that's a trend that I mean I would like to see change as far as like I'd like to see kids maybe, collecting sets, putting their favorite cards in binders and stuff like that. You don't see a ton of that. Like even kids now, like they have all slabs. I mean, it's pretty
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah. I agree. And I mean, I don't know how you break that really, but like you said, the adults, they just skim right through base cards now. And you watch every breaker on, any site you see, man, they go through the base cards, I mean, they as fast as they can just to get to the hits. I mean, they literally don't even look at them anymore. I mean, it's just, there's no attention to it. So yeah, I don't know how you break that. I don't know how you get the prices back down. I don't know if we ever will to a certain degree. But I think that's going to be a key to keep kids interested long term is getting them where they can open.
When you were showing like the speed break, that
Yeah.
immediately the first thing that popped into my head was Cards Infinity.
Absolutely. Yeah, Chris. Yeah. Chris was probably, he was definitely on the cutting edge of that, breaking online and thumbing through them insanely fast. And I remember when he first kind of got started. He's probably been doing it 10 years, a little bit over 10 years now, I would say. And the first time I ever saw him, I'm like, man, what is going on? Like, why isn't he taking time and taking all this care with the base cards? And just now you don't even think anything about it. It's just the way everybody does it, right? But yeah, he was definitely on the front end of that for sure.
Yeah. Let me catch up on some of the comments here.
Yeah.
You can't see them, right, until I put them up.
Yeah, I can't see them at all. Yeah.
So yeah. So Lou Rock says, yeah, these kids got better collection. Yeah. Same here, Lou. Like I saw some crazy, crazy stuff walking around in kids' cases. Let's see. Wow. Yeah, and that's the kind of stuff that you don't like to see that, especially with younger kids. I mean, and you see that at these big shows, like people will be busting breaks, on a table somewhere, and they just leave all the base stuff there.
Yeah, I've seen that, and that's amazing to me.
You can just walk around and pick up base stuff. Yeah, Lou. I mean, it's the foundation for sure, man. Let's see. Pandemic skyrocketed popularity of our hobby, and that popularity is here. I hope so.
I tend to agree. Yeah, I definitely tend to agree with that statement, and I don't. It may back off a little bit as the world gets moving again at some point, like fully gets moving again, because not everybody's going to have interest of buying and selling cards all the time when the world's moving fast. But I'm with you. I think in general it's going to be here forever again.
Well, and if you've been in this hobby for a long time, I mean, we've seen several of these, ups and downs throughout the years. People never thought it would ever recover from, the junk wax era. And, it takes some time, but, eventually even that stuff kind of like starts to rise.
Yeah, it has a market now for the first time in, 25, 30 years or whatever. It's crazy.
Yeah. And granted, the market it's not now what it was, 6 months ago, but it's not what it was 15 years ago either.
Oh yeah. No, of course. I mean, you're gonna have some corrections when you get the big spikes. It's just that's the way it goes. But yeah, I think the drop back down was kind of maybe where we are now is just the new norm. Which is not a bad place to be.
Right. And like Lou says here, history always repeats itself. I ain't count. That's the same way with us, man. Like, and there's a lot of people like us out there that, we've been through this whole thing. Like, we never really left. Like, good times, bad times.
Yeah, I mean, like for yourself, what did you quit collecting for what? Probably 4 or 5 years when you started college, right there, high school into your high school into college, probably a little bit. If I remember right.
Well, it's probably like I probably didn't really collect much from like my freshman year of high school until like my freshman year of college. That's really kind of like when I got back into it was in college.
Yeah, well, I remember when we kind of got our cards back out and got going again, and I think eBay started in '97 or '98 was the first year, and I didn't eBay the first few years, but I think around 2000 or 2001, whenever we kind of got going again. I think since then we pretty much collected all the way through. I mean, I had about 2.5 or 3 years where I didn't collect. Where like I said, probably my sophomore through my senior year of high school, maybe a little bit in my freshman year of college, but after that, yeah, I mean, I've collected nonstop. I think there's a lot of us out there that never stopped. So, we get a different perspective on these trends than people that just came back into it. It's just a different world.
And I have no desire to stop. If they put out products that I don't like now, then I just go back to the older stuff that I do like.
Yep, absolutely.
So there's always something to collect. I mean, you'll never run out of stuff. It's not like you're ever going to have every card.
No, I'm the same way. I don't really stress out about new stuff too much. I just don't worry about it because most of the stuff I do buy is older anyways. I pretty much live in that 1995 to 2010 era for the most part with almost everything I collect anyways.
Yeah, I've always tended to be the type of collector that like I never really like anything when it's new, but then over time it may grow on me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let's see what Alex says here. The hits created that monster. If it were just regular cards, the only thing to chase would be rookie cards, and base cards would hold more interest. That said, not necessary. Yeah, that's true, man. Yeah, like that's what it was for us. It was all about the rookies. And yeah, like kids nowadays, they just it's different. And I mean, I can't really get upset with them because like I don't know that I would have been any different if it would have been that way back then.
Oh yeah. Well, I know for sure once the I don't know 95, 96 when the cards started getting a little bit better and there was hits and serial numbered cards came in and things like that. Yeah, I didn't care about the base cards at that point near as much. I wanted the inserts and the serial numbered and the better cards. I mean, that I've never stopped being that way. I still am that way. So yeah, I get it. I mean, but also, the base cards have to have some type of value, or why even make them? I mean, that's my thought process.
Right. They still are cards. They're not fillers.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like what do they call those cards they put in there? The blanks.
Yeah, blanks. Yeah.
But I mean, what is it they call them? Do you
And
remember?
that's what I always called them.
It's called blanks. Okay.
That's what I always call them. They're or the dummy decoys. Dummies or decoys. Yeah.
Decoys. Yeah. So people can't search the packs. Like, yeah, the base cards are not supposed to be decoys, but I guess they kind of have become that a little bit. Let's see here. My sweet spot's 52 to 82. Nice. Yeah, and like you see more and more. It's funny to me because this is one thing that I notice a lot at these bigger shows, especially. It seems like the newer people, they take a lot of crap from people that have been around for a while, and some of it justifiably so. But I will say, from their point of view, they seem more willing to adjust to things than a lot of the older people. Like you see a lot of tables at the National, and if it's somebody that they've been collecting for 50 years and they've always done vintage, right? they don't ever add any modern stuff like to their tables. But you'll see a lot of the younger guys like that are in their 20s and 30s. They will add vintage stuff to their showcases along with the modern. So they have like a little bit for, a little bit of something for everyone. So I think they are willing to adjust and learn. And I just think that, maybe we need to be patient with these guys, like the younger people, and instead of just constantly like bad mouthing them, because that's easy to do. And I was hit in the knee by a few Pelican cases at the National, but people have been taking cards to shows and trying to sell them and trade them forever. And I think a lot of it is just like, people, like a lot of the older collectors, maybe they don't like the way that these kids are doing it, but they're basically doing the same thing that a lot of people have done for a long time as far as that goes.
Well, and I don't disagree, but I will say, I'm fine with the ones that are collecting, even the ones that are there, they're making money and things like that. But I'm sick to death of invest this, invest that. All you see is just pure investment, based collecting. I'm sick of it. You go on Instagram or anywhere, and that's a lot of times it's all you see is just the expectation of cards gaining value over such short amounts of time. And I'm sick of that. And a lot of it for me really comes from the basketball card world than the other sports. It's just that's where the focus has been, because that's where a lot of the big money is. And a lot of people may not like me saying that they're tired of seeing the investment thing, but I think it came in so fast with so many of them doing it, and everybody has an investment video or some type of something to say, and they track card prices on such a short amount of time span that the expectation is they go and buy stuff. Yeah, hashtag invest. There you go. The expectation is that your card collections are going to grow in value all the time. The reality is not everything goes up. Some stuff may not. Some stuff may come down. And thinking that you're going to buy a card and then 2 weeks later double it in value is just, I don't know where that mentality came from, but it's definitely entered the hobby, specifically in the basketball card market, over the last 18 months.
Well, I think it came from the fact that a lot of these people, they came in not knowing any better, and that was their first experience. Is like, they bought a card, and then like a month or two later it was doubled. So they just think that that's the way it's always been, and that's the way it always will be. And obviously we know that that's not true, or at least it never has been prior to now. And I think we're seeing right now, that was kind of like a falsehood.
I'm always good about helping collectors, especially new ones coming in. I always tell people, reach out to me. I don't mind looking at a card and telling you if it's real or whatever. I've had, especially over the last 2 or 3 months, I've had a ton. I had one yesterday. People hit me up and they're asking me for investment advice, and I've really gotten turned off by that. I'm all for if it's somebody I know that's collecting and says, hey, do you think this is a good deal? I don't mind giving an opinion, or hey, can you look at this picture? Do you think this card's real? I don't mind that at all. But I won't name the name, but I had somebody hit me up about a month ago, and the guy's like, hey, I've been looking for this card for a long time. What do you think about it? So I gave him my opinions on price and authenticity, those types of things. He gets the card in. I know what he paid for it. And literally 3 days later, I see he's listing it for sale, DM me, and the price was almost double what he paid for it. And he tells me the story about how he, been looking for it for a long time. And I'm like, man, that stuff just really turns me off on helping people. And to your point, you got a lot of guys coming in that are new, that they do need help and patience and things like that. But those examples I give, just really drive me crazy, But then on the flip side, there's a ton of people that hit me up, and they have the card for a long time afterwards, and they love the card because they wanted to collect it. So there's both sides, but I definitely see a lot of new ones coming in that just they want investment advice, basically, from people that's been around for a while.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that. Like I would much rather teach someone how to think about things instead of just telling them what they should be thinking. You just present them with some information and some learning tools, maybe like tell them kind of like what they need to research and stuff like that. But yeah, like I'm like you, like I don't want to be like somebody's like financial planner in sports cards. I mean, that to me, there's a no-win situation for you, because if you give them bad advice, they're going to blame you, and if you give them good advice, you'll never hear from them again.
Well, and yeah, and if you know what I collect, and how I collect, I could care less about investment. I don't give a crap. I never have. I work a lot, and I collect cards because I enjoy it when I'm not working, as something to do, not as a job, and so,
yeah,
I'm the worst person to ask for investment advice, because every time I always think to myself, man, that's going to go up. I never buy that. I always buy the stuff I like instead,
Right. Yeah. I mean, how many times have we done that?
No.
Let me catch up on some of the comments there. There's been a few good ones come in. What's going on, Brad? They're willing to adjust because they go after what's hot. Yeah. Chasing that paper.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Dean, the old-time sellers know what sells year after year. That's true. I mean, the vintage market is pretty much always strong. I have not heard much from Mr. Gary. Yes, Carlos, someone did say #invest. Let's see. I have no problem with the new stuff I collected here and there for the most part. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of games in town, in my opinion. I mean, and collect what you like. Some people think that whatever they collect is the only way, and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't collect vintage. I mean, I've collected very, very little vintage over the years. Maybe more so comic books. It's kind of very similar to vintage. To vintage sports cards, but I've done. But I don't collect much vintage. But I definitely get the message on. I collect a very specific time period. And everybody's got to collect what they like. But vintage is steady. I mean, everybody knows that.
I don't know where Paul is. Oh, Eric, easy.
Hey, Andy, back to Eric. I don't know if you probably have you seen the tops card with Eric on it?
The tops card with him on it.
Yeah. So on Blowout today, I go on Blowout today.
His custom card?
Yeah, the custom. Oh, yeah. So I go on Blowout today, and somebody had posted it, and there was considerable amount of awesome comments that people were doing on there. So just want to let Eric know that I saw that. Pretty good stuff.
I can only imagine. The Oracle is the king of Blowout. Let's see. Oh, he's commenting Carlos. Carlos getting comments, and oh, come on now. At least he appreciates it. Let's see. Trying to scroll through some of these here. Let's see. Mr. Everyone Chicago, definitely be AC. Yeah, it was definitely a great time. You might be disappointed, my friend.
Oh, you definitely disappointed.
He's here to learn. Oh, here's the one for you, Michael.
Should have bought a Grant Hill. Hey, Eric, you should have bought my entire collection when I sold it. You'd have a lot of money's worth of cards by now, because they've like doubled since I sold them. #invest.
Invest in Grant Hill.
Ankles.
Let's see. Subs equal intelligence to a lot of people. Those folks aren't the brightest, so they're listening to the Pelican Case Posse and getting burnt. Slaughterhouse. Yeah, that is true, Dave. Like a lot of the channels that have a tremendous amount of subs, I think that most of us would probably agree are not the most knowledgeable. Without mentioning any names, would you agree with that, Michael?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think at this point in time, there's enough of them. You don't even have to mention names. We kind of know you can kind of classify them all in a group, and it's the ones that have came in the last couple of years that it's all invest. So yeah, I'm with you. Pelican Case Posse. I like that.
Can't miss guys Darius Miles and Stevie Franchise. You can't go wrong with those guys, right?
These guys are good.
JT, what's up, man? Records that will never be broken. No run, strikeouts, 9 wins. Those about occasion blowout postcard. So that's true. He's adding to that like on a daily, man. Oh man, let's see what else we got here. Recent higher per runs the last couple of years of both color and base. So okay, so this is a good topic, Michael. What do you think about like the way? I mean, because I think we both like a lot of the parallels, right?
Sure, absolutely.
And that goes back to even the 90s. Like some of the most popular sets from the 90s they have great parallels. So
Yep.
what do you think about some of the recent sets that have come out and the volume of parallels?
It's so kind of like what the point he's making here is it's good and bad, right? It gives you that feel when you open a box or packs or whatever. It gives you that feel that you're getting a lot of value because you're getting a lot of numbered or parallels or whatever. Well, you do that year after year and you have to add something all the time. Eventually, you get to the point where it's just watered down. Those cards are very similar to base cards or whatever because there's so many of them. It's fun to collect all the different colors and things, but it waters things down tremendously. It limits the chase cards more than what people realize. Now, it might also make like the Prism Golds, it might make them worth more because they're hard, it's hard to get. You pull, there's 50 different parallels and you're really only chasing one or two of the rare ones. I don't know, but I think over time, yeah, it definitely waters things down, and a lot of them here in 2 or 3 years, they're going to be worth nothing. I mean, literally nothing.
And how would you feel like if you were super collecting a modern basketball player like you did Grant Hill? How would you feel about going after like one of these rainbows?
Brutal. It's brutal. It was hard even when there was 5 parallels to chase, or whatever. I can't imagine doing it with like if you use just use Prism basketball as the example. Especially if you're doing you got Prism Choice, you got all these different ones. Yeah, I mean, just trying to find them all is going to be next to impossible. No telling what you're going to pay just in shipping charges, just buying all of them. And the facts are, you and somebody else, one other collector of that player, may be the only people going for it. So really, it doesn't. A lot of them don't have any value after you get them. I mean, it's just your value to you. That's all it is.
Yeah, and the thing about like you were talking about the instant gratification, because you're getting something like a color parallel or something like that in every pack. Yeah, when you do that, it waters down the product and those just become less desirable. I mean, some of those parallels are probably like less popular than the base cards, I would say.
No doubt.
I mean, a lot of them, like, what are they even? I don't even know what some of them are. Like,
yeah.
Color and what the name of it is. Like, if I don't even know what it is, like, that loses me right there.
Well, and one other point that people don't realize, and I've seen this on some products over time, is it's hard to go backwards from that. You get people used to pulling, getting 8 or 10 hits per box or whatever, hits per box. And then let's say the popularity dies down a little bit and they're not going to print as much. Well, it's hard to go backwards from that because people expect that. It's hard to go from that maybe back to 2. It's tough. It puts manufacturers need to be smart about the way they make things. But I get it. They're trying to make all the money they can right now, and it's just part of it. But yeah, I don't like it just from a simple standpoint of there's really not true value there. Very, very little true value there.
Yeah, and I think as collectors, we like consistency. That year after year consistency. Like if a certain parallel is serial number to a certain number, we want it to be consistent. Like I hate the way they change up some of those. Like, and they've done that for a while with certain products.
I despise it. You know how I am with the same thing, consistency. I despise when something will be numbered to 10 one year and then all of a sudden next year it's numbered to 250. That's the example like with the purple refractors and bone chrome.
That's the first one I remember that we really noticed and got upset about.
Yeah, I mean, I love the purple. I love the purple autos and purple refractors. When Bowman Chrome really got going big time in 2011, 12, 13, right through there, they were jumbo exclusives. They were awesome. And then all of a sudden, they were numbered to 250 and in every product that they made. I hate that stuff. It just drives me crazy.
Yeah. What do you think about the animal parallels, like the tigers and zebras
Some
snakes?
they look cool. Some of them are really cool looking. What I wish they would do is just pick out one of them, and that's the only one they put in year after year instead of so many. But the tiger stripes look pretty cool. I got to admit, kind of neat looking.
Yeah. Wildcat 72. Good to see you in here. Ken. Dawn's Field of Dreams. How's it going? Yeah, I'm trying to catch up here. Like, there's a lot of
Field of Dreams game Thursday was awesome, by the way.
man. That was incredible. Like, I about lost it when Kevin Costner came out of the corn stalks and then the players followed him. I thought that was just so good. And you just kind of over the years, I guess I just kind of expect Major League Baseball to screw things up, but they did a really good job on that.
They did, and it wasn't Kevin Costner per se. I mean, he was acting. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It was awesome to see how patient and the way he delivered it perfectly, and yeah, they couldn't have done any better on that, I don't think. And then the ending of the game, was awesome. The ninth inning completely was awesome.
So you're saying Kevin Costner was actually Ray?
Ray, yes, Ray is exactly right. Or he was Crash Davis, or I don't know. He was from one of the baseball movies he's been in. I don't know. For Love of the Game, I can't remember what his character is on that, but
I don't remember. But yeah, he that was awesome. That was a good movie too. Let's see, Ken says, "I'm glad the stuff I'm collecting now has very little interest." I hear you, Ken. Some of the stuff that I collect doesn't have a lot of interest, and it makes it nice. You don't have to like fight everyone for it. Let's see. When it comes to that chase bow, you got to check yourself.
Yep, no doubt.
Let's see. I remember chasing Canseco's 86 tops. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big Mac. I mean, you want to talk about hype. Big Mac and Sosa.
Big Mac, Sosa, Griffey right through there. Yeah, man, big time. Bonds in the early 2000s. Oh, yeah.
Lou is a Yankees fan, so he obviously thought the ending could have been better.
At the very least, Lou, you have to admit it was entertaining.
That's cool. Highest rating.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this, okay. And this just kind of tells you like what kind of spot baseball has put themselves in, because I didn't know that was the highest rated game, but I did hear this number that the Hall of Fame, the preseason Hall of Fame football game, had 1.5 million more people watch it than watch that Field of Dreams game, which I thought was just, I'm like, there wasn't even any starters playing in that game, the preseason game. So I thought that was, man, I was like,
that's odd. But then I saw a couple weeks ago, I saw where Game 6 of the NBA Finals this year and Game 6 of the World Series last year, one of them, I can't remember what the difference was, but basically one of them was 6.8 million viewers, the other was 6.6 million viewers or something. They were almost identical, which I was very shocked to see that.
I'm not totally shocked about that, because you just kind of look at the matchup that we had in the NBA Finals, between Milwaukee and Phoenix. I mean,
small markets.
Unless you're a fan of one of those two teams, like it's one of those that a lot of casual fans probably passed on, which, I mean, I watched every game, but like, I can understand, like, if you're like a Lakers fan or somebody like that, you're probably not going to necessarily watch that or be as excited about it.
I watched less basketball this past season than I ever have in my entire life. Just in general, I watched most of the playoffs. I was pretty engaged with that, but I've watched way more baseball this year than I maybe ever have before as well. So, I've just kind of moved more toward baseball in general.
Well, it's been a rough couple of seasons especially for regular season, because there's been so many of the best players in all these sports that have been injured so much.
Yep.
I mean, baseball right now, you have so many guys, like Trout hasn't played in forever.
Cunha is out for the year.
Tatis has been hurt like 3 times.
Kershaw,
like half the league was hurt.
Yeah.
So I mean, we just need to like get everybody healthy, and I think the best thing that could happen for the NBA and for the NBA card market is for them to have an off season now, like a real off season, because people like even myself, like as a huge basketball fan, I was getting a little burned out because they played for basically like 2 years. It seemed like straight.
That's true. Very true.
So let's get on to collecting a little bit. So what are you collecting right now?
Man, of course, been buying absolute boatload of Nomar and rolling cards, just as many as I can buy, for sure. But then, over the last 6 months, I've started expanding out a little bit. I've been buying just a ton of Bowman Chrome, orange, red, and super fractors, from just various years, trying to buy, existing stars or guys maybe that have Hall of Fame potential or fan favorites, not always Hall of Fame guys. So I've been buying a ton of that stuff. And then recently I've started buying again, 2005 SP Legendary Cuts, some of the materials cards, which I've collected a ton of those over the years, obviously. And then of course, for the first time in I don't even know how long, maybe 20 years, I've been collecting a current player. I've been buying a lot of Shane McClanahan just because he's cheap and it's his rookie year. He's not the most exciting player ever, obviously, but it's been kind of fun collecting a current player. It's just something different than I normally do. So that's really about it. Kind of always stay in my lanes. I don't venture out. A lot of people get too much going on. I don't really do that. I worry about collecting what I want to collect and buying the rare and scarce that I can.
So you're on the Shane train.
I'm on the Shane train. It's steaming along pretty good. I've got a pretty massive collection of him built over a 6-month period here. So if he were to become, a stud and maybe win a Cy Young or something, it should be a good investment. If he doesn't, it's still fun.
Here's a question for you, Michael.
Well, for most of my life, anything that I did collect that was unopened doesn't remain unopened very long. So to answer that question is no, because I know if I buy it, I'll end up opening it. So I haven't really opened much at all in the last several years, really. I opened a little bit of, Bowman retail I found, a couple months ago. But other than that, no, I haven't bought any wax.
I mean, for me, like I wouldn't say I actively collect it. I have some, but it's kind of like too expensive really for me to buy any to like just keep. I mean, as far as collect it now. Yeah, I mean the stuff I have, it wasn't nearly as expensive as it is now. So and it's cool to me, like the wax that I have, like, and this is what helps me because I like to open wax too, but it's like for me and like in my head, once it gets to like a certain price point, like I feel so guilty if I open it. So it makes it easy to not open it once it gets to like a certain price point. So I have some wax, but I wouldn't say I really collect it because I haven't bought any and it's been a while.
I have been thinking about trying to buy like 1 to 2 boxes a month and keeping them for around a year and then opening all of them up at one time. Do like one big break per year just to kind of, meet the wax fix a little bit, but outside of that, yeah, I really don't. What I collect is typically really rare stuff. So it's hard to pull that stuff anyways.
I don't know about this.
That's not even going to have the Thunder in straight up lose mode. Yeah, sorry, that's not going to happen.
All right, here's what I will tell you, JT. I'll make it public right here. I will make a bet with you that the Thunder will win more games than your Pistons this next season. So everybody heard it here. I'm throwing the offer out there. I'm extending. I think we will be better than the Pistons. What do you think?
I think it'll be pretty close. Both of them right near the bottom.
You had that look on your face, like I think you made a mistake.
Well, I was trying to do the math, and I'm trying to figure out, East versus West. Which one's going to lose more games? And I think just based on conference, I think the Thunder will probably actually lose more games.
So you like JT's side of the bet?
I don't like either side. Don't get me wrong, but I think his odds are probably slightly higher of losing less games. And notice I didn't say winning more games. I said losing less games because I don't think either team's going to go out of their way to win a lot of games. It's going to be nights that the other team is maybe has their superstar taking a night off or whatever. But yeah, it's going to be a rough year for both of them.
Lou has the same problem as you.
Yeah, I feel your pain. I feel your pain. Andy, how many boxes of cards have you watched me open in my lifetime?
I mean, a lot. I mean, definitely. I mean, I don't know, man. Probably. What would you guess? Like, I mean, several hundred. I know for sure.
So yeah, absolutely. So when we were at the show,
maybe 1,000.
We were at the show, the Dallas show in May, and what was it, Chris or Josh? Somebody asked me, how many. I don't remember which one of them asked me. House of Jordan, Chris or Josh Johnson. One of them asked me, how many boxes have you opened up in your lifetime? And so I got home and I put it on paper and started trying my best to add it up. Just tracing back just the cases I could remember and different things. And I could add up pretty easily the 23 to 2,500 range that I can just think of myself. And these are all personal. I don't want anybody to think I'm not box breaking for anybody. These are just for myself. That's just the ones I could think of. Okay. And I'm sure there's a ton more that I couldn't remember. So, I mean, that I had that up and I was like, that's just absurd. I mean, that's crazy. So, and keep in mind, that's hardly with me opening up anything the last 5 years,
You have a problem. You have a problem with wax. Like once it gets within like a couple of feet of you, it gets open.
It's going to get opened. Oh yeah, it's going to get opened.
That was a lot of fun though in Dallas. Like,
yeah,
what was it we busted?
2008 Bowman Chrome.
Yeah,
those were fun. It was eight boxes of.
Those were not expensive boxes.
No, they were. I forgot what I gave. Was it $60 a box?
Maybe I was thinking like $50.
Something like that. I think 600, 500, $600 total for the 8 boxes.
Yeah,
I mean, those are really fun. Yeah.
I mean, those type of breaks, they just bring back a lot of memories because we had a lot of fun just like seeing, each player and be like, oh God, I remember this guy,
And then not to mention,
really good.
not to mention to pull a superfractor.
Of course, which you've been known to do that.
I tried to add that up too. How many superfractors? I was see, JP smarter than you are.
He's backing out already.
I tried to add it up how many superfractors I've pulled in my life, and it's somewhere between 15 and 20 that I've pulled myself.
I've pulled one, and it was some guy that I've never heard of, and nobody else has either. I don't mind if I haven't heard of him and somebody else has, but when no one's heard of him,
he's one of those guys that if you put it on eBay with like a $20 buy it now or submit best offer, even his mom would make an offer instead of just hitting the buy it now.
Yeah, I don't think whoever it was, I don't think their mom would have been like, she'd have been like, that thing's overpriced. Nats man in the house. So, do you want to do a little random 5?
We can do some random 5, yeah.
So, if anyone's not familiar with the random 5, we'll do one each episode, and one of us will come up with a question, and the other person does not know what it is. So I came up with it this time. So I have my list already prepared. Michael's going to be on the spot to come up with his 5. So, are you ready? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to give me your best starting 5 basketball players from a movie. So we're talking like fictional players.
Oh man. I gotta have Jackie Moon on there.
Oh, Jackie Moon, okay.
You got to be on there. I don't want to take too many people from that movie because I love it. But so yeah, give me Jackie Moon. Give me, gosh, it's hard. Give me what's Woody Harrelson's name on White Man Can't Jump? What's his name? What is his name? I'm drawing a complete. Somebody in the comments will probably know it, but
yeah, what is his name? Because Sidney Dean is Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, Sidney, but I got to have him on there.
All right, somebody help us in the comments. What was Woody Harrelson's character's name in White Man Can't Jump?
Yeah, give me that one.
We're going with those two so far. You got Jackie.
Give me Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Okay.
Yeah, gotta have Baby Ray in there. Man, give me
here it is. Cardi C came up with it, Chris. Billy Hoyle.
Oh, that's it. I don't know why I was drawing such a blank. Give me what is his name on Above the Rim? Kyle something. It's the main guy. I can't think of his name.
I can't think of his last name. Let's go with Kyle.
Yeah. Give me him. How many is that? Is that 4?
4.
And then I gotta have a big guy. I need a big guy. Gosh, why am I drawing a blank? Oh, give me okay. I got what's Shaq's character on
Neon.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, give me Neon.
Okay, that's a good one. Okay, so I'll give you my 5.
Let's hear it.
We're kind of playing positionless basketball, but I kind of went with like a 3 guard set. So I've got Scott Howard from Teen Wolf.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I got Jimmy Chitwood from Hoosiers.
Yep.
And then I have Sidney Dean from White Men Can't Jump.
There you go.
And then I have Lewis Scott from Celtic Pride.
Okay, yeah. I forgot all about that one.
And then I also had Neon from Blue Chips as the big guy.
Okay. Yeah, you got a big guy, right?
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. Okay, how does Air Bud not crack the starting 5? Like,
hey,
there's a lot of good players. What about Odin James from O? You remember that movie?
Yep, I absolutely remember that one. Yep,
he was good.
I was trying to think of somebody from Space Jam. Not the new Space Jam. I don't like that crap, but the original Space Jam.
Don's taking the whole White Shadow team. Billy Crystal can referee. What's the guy's name? Oh, who was the coach in Blue Chips? Nick Nolte's character.
Nick Nolte, yeah.
But what was his character's name? You remember?
I don't. Yeah, I don't. I can't remember.
That'd be a great head coach for sure.
I forgot because he's what is he, like Little Giant or whatever it is or something?
Yeah, I'm surprised that neither one of us had Penny Hardaway's character. I thought for sure you would go with.
Well, I thought about it. I definitely thought about him, and then I can't remember the other guy, the big white guy that was the outside shooter. Can't remember his name.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
But yeah, I thought about him.
I think.
And then what I'm trying to think, what other basketball? Then you've got some other basketball movies like Basketball Diaries and Love and Basketball and some of those, but I don't remember any of the characters' names. They for sure.
I think your team. I think I would beat you because with Scott Howard's playmaking and then Jimmy Chitwood's outside shooting.
I don't know. I had Jesus Shuttlesworth on my side.
And then Lewis Scott, I mean, he's a little bit of a hothead, but he's got a little fire in his belly. And then Sidney Dean can kind of like, he's going to be a little flashy. And then
but Billy Hoyle was better than Sidney, though.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's tough.
I guess he was better at hustling. Maybe not actual play.
Here's the guy you were trying to think of, Ricky Rowe.
Ricky Rowe, that's the other one. Yeah, I cannot think of the name.
Ricky Rowe. Yeah.
It's tough when you get put on the spot and you have to think of those because that was a good one because you're having to remember movies first and then characters' names and.
Well, the reason I didn't take Ricky Rowe is because I didn't want to give his family a tractor.
Tractor, yeah, you had to give him a tractor. I forgot about that.
It's just easier just to just pay some of these guys straight up cash. So I don't want to have to go to the trouble to have to buy a tractor and have it delivered out to his family.
Are we missing any other like major basketball movies? I mean,
Uncle Drew.
Uncle Drew. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, JT comes with a good one here. I mean, Adam Sandler. Yeah, he would be a good guy off the bench for sure because he's deadly from the corner.
The other one I think of is I think of Along Came Polly. Which is awesome scene.
Oh, Phillip Seymour Hoffman's.
Yeah, Philip Seymour Hoffman, make it right.
Yeah, I'll let you have that guy.
That one's good, and then so is the cable guy. Jim Carrey. That one. Yeah,
Chip.
Chip.
He was ferocious on the boards, man.
Yeah, those are two that definitely come to mind.
Let's see, the air up there with Kevin Bacon.
The air up there.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so that was pretty fun, and I mean, obviously, I had a heads up, so I got to handpick my players, and you were on the spot. So.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
I mean, Jimmy Chitwood.
Jimmy never missed.
He didn't. He was good. So, does anybody out in the chat have any questions they want? We've been on here for about 50 minutes. Whoopi Goldberg was in a basketball movie. What was the name of that?
Yeah, that was
Eddie.
What was it?
Was it Eddie? Was that
Eddie? That's it. Yep, Eddie.
She was like the coach of the Knicks or something, right?
Yep, that's right. I picked up a couple. I was going to show a couple of these. I don't know if you can see it. A couple of pretty cool Max Scherzer superfractors.
That looks like a superfractor.
That is a superfractor. That's one of them. And then I picked this one up too. Picked up a couple of those. That's two of my better pickups more recently. I don't think you go wrong.
Do you think Max Scherzer will make it, or do you think he's kind of flash in the pan?
I think he's gonna be okay.
He'll be all right.
I think after that third Cy Young, I think
he's
I feel pretty guaranteed that he's a sure thing.
He's been one of my favorite pitchers to watch during my lifetime. Like he's very entertaining to watch. Just his intensity, and man, he's good.
He's awesome. That's honestly that's one of the reasons I started collecting McClanahan is because he gets so mad when they pull him out of the games, and when he doesn't do well. I love that. I love the Max Scherzer mentality that see some of the other guys around. Like I don't know if you saw it in the game the other night when Kopech the umpire didn't call that strike when he threw his arms up and was mad. And I love that. I love it when they get fired up out there.
Here's one of my pickups. It's not going to be quite as flashy as yours, but you might remember this guy. It's not quite a superfractor.
Who is it? I can't. Oh, Silva. Is that Anderson Silva? Yeah.
Anderson the Spider Silva. So this is the 19 orange refractor. Now, what do you think one of these cost?
Is it number 25? Like a normal?
Number 25.
$100.
So I got this thing for $35. Shipped. Number 25, Anderson the Spider Silva.
One of the best spiders ever.
And then I picked up this one. This is the 18 chrome gold refractor of Amanda Nunez.
Yeah.
She's probably easily the best female MMA fighter of all time. These are numbered to 50. I think this one was about $60 for a gold. So that's been one of the great things about collecting UFC is there's not a lot of people that really collect it. So you can get some pretty cool low numbered stuff of the best people for pretty affordable prices. I mean, $35 for that. I mean, could you even you can't even get a blaster of anything for that anymore.
Oh. And that's how I live in that. I would say 90% of my cards that I have are between the $20 and $75. I live in that range, for the most part. Obviously, the Max Scherzer superfractors, they were way more than that. But I was trying to see what else I had. So here's another one I picked up. I typically don't go for game use, but I love these button cards. I picked this up. That was about $100 or something. It's no more jersey numbered. 5 of 6 and stuff.
So I'm curious on those cards like that. What does it say on the back about the button? Is that
so on the front? I don't know if you'll be able to see it here, but on the front it says button.
But I mean, is it where did it come from? Was it a game worn jersey?
Yeah. These absolutely say game use.
Okay. That's been a lot of talk lately about some of the newer stuff. Is it's event worn, and then a lot of times on the back it'll say this this didn't even come from any specific player event.
I hate that stuff. No, this one says piece of jersey and button was cut from an authentic jersey personally worn by Nomar Garciaparra in a major league game. So yeah, it tells you that for sure. And then, so like, matter of fact, I think it's this set here. You see A-Rod and Nomar dual patch on here. So this set from Ultimate Collection, quite a few of the cards there, they actually tell which game some of these. I don't think this one does, but I know like Pedro Martinez, he has some from there. It tells you which game they come from.
Yeah. See, now that to me that means something. Like if it just says like it just some random, like it's not from any specific. If they just like touched it or something, like
and then like I love these mirror emeralds, number to 5. So I've been pick up, I picked that up for like $40. I pick up a lot of stuff like that. I kind of just live in that area and stay in my lane, like I said earlier. And
do you have any jersey cards that have dirt on them or anything?
I don't anymore. I have had some, for sure. Yeah, I don't. But I really don't like game used stuff. And a lot of it is because of what you mentioned. A lot of them aren't game used anymore, and a lot of the other reason too, I don't is it has gotten less and less popular over time. When jersey cards first came out in the late '90s, they were super popular, and now they're to the point they put them in boxes, but does anybody really even care about most of it? Some of the patch cards and stuff people care, but
I think they would care if they made them like they used to, where they were actually from a game.
Yeah, I agree. That's a Ripken and Roland one right there, dual one. I like those. Those are both game used. Those are cool. Also like that. But even like that, that's a $50 card. It's just they're not even that expensive.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's see. I saw something on here. Yeah. See, we kind of talked about this a little bit before we got on here, and I mean, I've seen that stuff. I just don't know enough about it to really say too much about it. All I can say is that from the pictures I've seen, their autographs on those cards look very, very similar.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that too. A ton of posts about it, and I'm not an expert on that, but to me, just looking at it real quickly, they look identical. They look like the same auto.
Yeah, and that would be a damn shame if something like that really happened, because you know as well as I do that people are going to be paying a lot of money for those LaMelo RPAs, and that would really suck if it wasn't him that actually signed those.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Gets proven or something, because I don't know. Let's see. Don says he wants to see me play that guitar in the background. Trust me, Don, you don't. I don't know how to play it, not even a little bit.
Seeing you do it might be okay. Hearing you do it would be the problem.
Yeah, you would want to turn the volume all the way down. B Roth, just hopping in here, man. We're almost done. You just now got here. Oh, he's saying to put those up side by side. Yeah, I've looked at them side by side, and it's doesn't look good. That's for sure.
Yep.
And then this is a good point too, like because on the 1-of-1 especially, like I know it's on card for sure. I think all of the NTs should be right on card.
Of theirs I've seen some players that are stickers, but not.
Yeah,
not
I
those.
know the 1-of-1 is definitely on card.
Yeah.
So that would not be a mistake if it's somebody else signed it. It wouldn't be an instance where somebody at Panini put the sticker on the wrong one or something. Had to watch the Mets lose again. Yeah, man, I was watching that game earlier. Taijuan Walker had like a no-hitter going into like the 7th inning.
The Mets have been on a terrible skid.
It's the Mets. I mean,
the Phillies right now look like they have the best chance of winning that division. The Braves will make it interesting, but I think the Mets probably going to be third.
Oh man, I just found another addition to my team for equipment manager.
Holy gosh!
Yes, he's going to be my equipment manager on my fake team. Let's see. So Farm League says I can see some similarities, but can definitely see the difference too in the leagues. Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I don't know enough about it. Just from the pictures I've seen, they look pretty similar, but I don't know. I'm sure somebody will figure it out. So, do you got anything to close with, Michael?
Man, I don't. Just everybody keep collecting what you like. Don't buy into some of the noise when people trying to get you off of what you like collecting. Just collect what you like. You don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, and I'll say keep collecting what you like, and don't collect what I like because it costs me more money. Then.
That's true. I'll don't bid on any No More or rolling cards, and I'll be happy.
Yeah, stay away from the stuff I like, and we'll all be good, right? All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us here, and you gave us a lot of good comments. Helped us out a lot on the random 5 question for sure. All right, guys. We will catch you guys on the next one.
Later, guys.